Patton. Coringa then 5 seconds away from launching down Glen Crutchley Road, gets the tap on the shoulder. Now the flag is dropped by Neil Hansen. Let's listen to the pack. Perfect with the wind conditions that we've got, the direction, and here is number 5, Dave Butler, away. Next is number 6, James Hind on the Yamaha. Winner, of course, yesterday in record-breaking fashion. 7 is Gary Vines. The Wobbly Bob Racing Yamaha away. Next is number 8, Michael Rees on the Kawasaki. There's a gap at 9, so it's the VRS Racing Kawasaki, number 10, Brad Vickers, who now is on the line, ready to see the flag drop, which it does. Hearing them for a lot longer with the wind blowing up from the Bray Hill direction. Number 12, David Quine, local, is next away on the Kawasaki. And a gap at 13, and let's hope Richard Stubbs has a bit more luck after listening to the interview, and then he can enjoy a beer with his crew after this race. Number 14 away now. Gap at 15, so next away it'll be another Patton, and there's a gap after, so we can hear it go down Bray Hill. Number 16, Andrea Mahola, gets the nod. Beautiful hearing going through the box there as he heads down Bray Hill. This is Mark Colvin on the Suzuki, number 18. 19, Jamie Edwards on a Suzuki is next away. And then number 20 on the Kawasaki, Stephen Horn. 21 onwards, it's based on qualifying times. 24, Renzo van der Donk away first. Now 23, Paul Wardle will get the tap as he goes away now. On the start line is Pete Murray on the Kawasaki. 27 is Jack Fowler away. That who's retiring after this Grand Prix. Roger Wibberley, number 21, away. 36, Ray Maloney will be next away. 33, Gavin Brown leaves the start line. More pattern power now with 32, Veronika Hansekova. The Colombian next, number 26, Daniel Fernandez away. .44 heads out on his race. That's Garth Woods. 54 next. That's Mark Kirkby. Not there. He's an additional non-starter. Problem to the right he has. So he's been pulled away. Number 29, Mike Minns, is next away. Sideman Wayne Axon next. Let's go to Glen Helen.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Francesco Coringa has just swept through here on that pattern. Sounded absolutely beautiful. And no problems for him on his opening passage in this four-lap race. He is well clear on the road, but remember there was quite a big gap. Next man coming is Dave Butler. Here he is now, number 5, Dave Butler, safely through here, and Coringa's pulled 4 seconds out on him. But here's a man coming a little bit quicker. That's James Hind, safely through on his first lap. And Francesco Coringa 2 seconds quicker than Hind. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, Coringa was quicker than Hind yesterday on the opening lap. And it took James Hind probably a couple of sectors to get himself dialed in. And once he did, that was him. There was no catching him. But Francesco Coringa holds the lead at the moment at Glen Helen on lap 1. Next man in. He comes out. Mike gets lent over onto its side. Mike Rees sweeps through here and makes his climb up towards Sarah's Cottage. That's number 8, Michael Rees, currently holding 4th position. But the rest of the herd will come flying through here very, very shortly. We've got a few gaps in these opening runners and riders. I can hear the next machine approaching Glen Helen too. And we hear Gary Vines, number 7, has retired at Strang Road as 10 comes through, Brad Vickers. So Gary Vines, he retired early on in the lap yesterday as well. Not going too well for him in the lightweight race, but Gary Vines retired at Strang Road on lap 1. It is Coringa, though, that leads Hind. Number 3 leads number 6 by 2 seconds. Dave Butler currently 3rd, and number 5 a further 2 seconds back. David Quine gets that bike cranked over into the left-hander here, gets onto the power, and he makes his climb up towards Concavodi. And David Quine, number 12, holding 6th position here so far on the opening lap of this Manx Grand Prix Supporters Club lightweight Manx Grand Prix. I can hear lots of engine noise now. We've got something fairly loud approaching. We've got 2 bikes approaching. First of those is 14, Richard Stubbs. And the second of those is Andrea Mahola on the pattern. Number 16, Mahola goes into the top 5. Mahola now is 4th place for number 16, 6 seconds behind 3rd place Dave Butler. No sign of the leaders at Balaf yet, but they'll be getting very, very close, I would think, as we await the next man on the road. David Quine and Richard Stubbs, the last 2 through, 12 and 14. Number 12, David Quine, 7th place. Number 14, Richard Stubbs, 8th place. Next machine in, the left-hander knocks it down a gear, gets it lent over. Mark Colvin through, and closely followed on the road by 19, Jamie Edwards. But Jamie Edwards reeled Mark Colvin in a little bit there, so 19 will go in front of 18 on corrected time. And there's 20 through Stephen Horn. He goes ahead of 19, and 24 looks like he's catching Stephen Horn on the road. He is. Renzo van der Donk makes a move into the top 10. Number 24, Renzo van der Donk, started 21st starting position up to 6th place on lap 1. Coringa now trips the beam at Balaf Bridge as Paul Wardell comes through, number 23. He makes it into the top 10. Paul Wardell just holding 9th position here at Glen Helen on the opening lap. A little bit of a gap now at Balaf. We await the arrival of James Hind. 27 comes through. Jack Fowler makes a move. Jack Fowler, number 27, obviously had a flying start. He is into the top 10, and number 27, Jack Fowler, holding 6th position. And just like yesterday, Hind comes through at Balaf, and he's taken the lead. He was slower yesterday on the opening sector from the grandstand to Glen Helen, but by Balaf Bridge on lap 1, he'd taken the lead. He's done exactly the same today. Number 6, James Hind at Balaf leads number 3, Francesco Coringa, by 1.6 seconds, with David Butler 3rd, 2.6 seconds back on Coringa. Pete Murray, Roger Wibbley, Ray Maloney, Gavin Brown, all through here at Glen Helen on their opening lap. 32 comes through now, Veronica Hankachova. She's just hovering around the outside of the top 10 there on the opening sector. 32, Hankachova up to 11th place. So some of those higher start numbers are making their moves on this opening lap. And 26 comes through. Don't see that appear there. 36, maybe Ray Maloney, I think that maybe that was. I got my order wrong. And Michael Rees now through at Balaf as well, number 8. So the first 4 all through at Balaf. But I think for a top 5 at Balaf, we do need 16. Andrea Mahola, who was 4th place here at Glen Helen. But great starts there from Jack Fowler and Renzo van der Donk. And Veronica Hankachova and Paul Wardell all up there in the top 11, which is fantastic news for them. Brad Vickers now comes through Balaf. And we have 29 there through. Mike Minns comes through here at Glen Helen on his opening lap safely through. There's 25, the Siderman, and 43. And 43, James Ford made a good move on the opening sector. 43, James Ford, up to 15th place on the opening lap. Wayne Axon, number 25, 22nd place here at Glen Helen on the opening lap. 38 comes through, Tommy Henry. He nips ahead of Axon on adjusted time. But at Balaf Bridge, I can tell you that James Hind leads Francesco Coringa by 1.6 seconds. Number 5, Dave Butler, is third. He's 2.5 seconds down on Coringa. In 4th place, number 8, Michael Rees. He is 15 seconds down on Dave Butler. In 5th, number 16, Andrea Mahola. He is 1 second back on Michael Rees. In 6th place, number 10, Brad Vickers at the moment. But remember, Jack Fowler and Renzo van der Donk were both ahead of him here at Glen Helen. But it's a repeat of yesterday's opening portion of the race. Coringa and Hind dueling it out for the top 2 positions. Hind with the advantage at Balaf Bridge on lap 1, 1.6 seconds in front. Back to you at the grandstand.
Yeah, Gary Vines, just to confirm, I think he got to Quarterbridge yesterday, but Union Mills today, unfortunately for him, a retirement. Francesca Coringa, quickest through the Sulby Speed Trap, 150.8. James Hind, 148.1. Michael Rees, 146.8. Very quickly, Chris Boyd is quicker than on his standing start yesterday, Hind to Balaf Bridge.
Absolutely, he broke the lap record on that standing start lap yesterday, he then upped on lap 2. Well, he's 3.5 seconds quicker to Balaf today than he was on lap 1 yesterday.
Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin, Roy Moore.
Sound of a pattern sweeping out of Stella Maris very, very shortly indeed. And there it is now, and into Ramsey Hairpin. Down through the box comes number 3, Francesco Coringa. Tight to the outside and just doesn't look over, just gets head down straight away and in behind the screen. And if there's any advantage going to be gained by that pattern today, it will probably be on the mountain climb. Remember yesterday, your man James Hind just stayed behind that. Second machine interview now. We're expecting that to be number 5, Dave Butler. But right behind him is number 6. Number 6, James Hind. And he's pulled an advantage out from Balaf to Ramsey. Probably in the shelter and a bit of a following wind, but that'll all change as they exit the gooseneck. It's James Hind, number 6, by 5 seconds here at Ramsey Hairpin over number 3, Francesco Coringa, who in turn is just 2 seconds ahead off in 3rd place here at Ramsey, number 5, Dave Butler. So the top 3 well through at Balaf Bridge. That was the order that they went through there. And the difference, well, about the same between third and second. But certainly the race leader now, James Hind, pulled 3 seconds on the run from Balaf Bridge here to Ramsey Hairpin. We're expecting Michael Rees, number 8, to be next here. Number 8 it is, yet down through the centre of the road and into the sunshine and round and away. No dramas, no problems, no nothing, and just accelerating away towards Waterworks. Now, that story that we were relating to was about Ryan Neen. He was just asking spectators to keep their rubbish to themselves and bring it with them or keep it secure. A crisp packet on Cronkovody at 170 miles an hour the other day was not what he was expecting. So that was a bit of a mention there for that. That's what we were trying to do. As Brad Vickers now, he won't be worried about crisp packets. He'll be worried about how far up this leaderboard he can go. He's holding on to 5th at the moment. 12 seconds behind Michael Rees, who in turn is 19 seconds down on Dave Butler. But there's only 7 seconds covering the top 3 here at Ramsey Hairpin. It will be noticeable as they go through the bungalow what the weather conditions, the wind anyway. Dave at Glen Helen.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. We've got the first few of the ultra lightweight through now. I can report that number 77, Radley Hughes, leads number 61, Tom Snow, by 5.5 seconds on lap 1. In third place, number 70, Lance Unisart. He's 3/4 of a second back on Tom Snow. Fourth, number 64, Alex Sinclair. He is 4.5 seconds down on Unisart. And making up the top 5, making up the top 3 now, Sarah Boyes gets a flyer. Sarah Boyes takes third place. Number 82, Sarah Boyes, drops into the top 3. She is just 0.05 of a second down on second place Tom Snow and has half a second advantage over yesterday's winner, number 70, Lance Unisart, with Alex Sinclair making up your top 5. Back to you at Ramsey Hairpin, Roy.
Yeah, we had fourth place for Michael Rees, 19 seconds down on Dave Butler. A few more have gone through, and it's in fifth place for number 16, Andre Mahola. He is 3.5 seconds down on Michael Rees in fifth place. In sixth place, it's number 10, Brad Vickers. He's 8.5 seconds down on Mahola. And then in seventh place, number 12, Dave Coyne, 10.5 seconds down on Vickers. Eighth place for 19, Jamie Edwards, but he's only half a second down on Dave Coyne. But that could be changed by the arrival of number 24, and that is the case, because up to seventh place goes Renzo van der Donk, and certainly he is now in that seventh place, 5.5 seconds only down on Brad Vickers. It's then number 12, Dave Quine. Jamie Edwards, that was one we had to look out for. He's dropped a bit of time, I would suggest, on the run from Balaf here, but he's still only 2 seconds behind in 10th place. In 9th place, number 19, Jamie Edwards, who's only a fraction of a second down, and that changes again as Jack Fowler makes Ramsey. So no change from seventh upwards, but from seventh, it's 24, Renzo van der Donk, 5 seconds down on Brad Vickers in seventh place. In eighth place, number 27, Jack Fowler, 2 seconds only down on van der Donk. In ninth place, number 12, Dave Quine, 2.5 seconds only down on Fowler. 10th for 19, Jamie Edwards, half a second down on Dave Quine. 11th for number 23, Paul Wardle. He's 2.5 seconds down on Jamie Edwards. Gavin Brown has come into the equation here at Ramsey Hairpin as we switch over to find out what the difference is at the bungalow. It's maintaining that 5 seconds at the bungalow, so the two-stroke has got the mountain climb as well. We've got in 13th place Veronica Hankakova. She's only 1 second down on Gavin Brown in 12th. Paul Wardle slots into 11th there, and then it's 14th Stephen Horn, 15th Ray Maloney, 16th Mark Colvin, 17th Roger Wibberley, 18th Richard Stubbs, and that could be changed a little bit by the arrival of Mark Colvin. Yeah, he goes into 16th place. 17th Roger Wibberley, 18th Richard Stubbs, and 19th Daniel Fernandez, 20th Pete Murray. At the bungalow, Michael Rees, 26 seconds, so he's lost 5 seconds on that mountain climb to Dave Butler. Dave Butler has lost 4 seconds on the mountain climb to Francesco Coringa, but the gap remains the same at the bungalow. James Hind leads from Coringa by 5 seconds. Back to the grandstand.
Yeah, let's look at the non-starters. Additionally, number 46, Nick Sutherwood, Nigel Ray, number 39, number 45, John Bain. These are all non-starters. Number 78, David Murphy, number 86, Andrew Jackson, number 83, Derek Wilkie. Number 54, Mark Kirby, got going at the rear of the Ultras. His lightweight machine, but addition to the at the rear of the lightweights as well was number 48, Stephen Beals. So quite a few changes. Bit slower up the mountain, Chris Boyd, than they were yesterday afternoon.
Yes, Francesco Coringa arrives at Cronknamona about 1.2 seconds slower on the run from Ramsey to the bungalow, but still inside his standing start lap pace from yesterday. He's on about 115.4 pace, James Hind.
Okay, yes, number 3, Coringa safely at Cronknamona, and we'll wait to see James Hind arrive at Cronknamona to see what the margin was. 5 seconds between them. It's still 5.6 now, so he's gained half a second on the run down off the mountain. And we're just seeing where Sarah Boyes is going to be at Balaf Bridge in the ultra lightweight. She's down into 6th position. 3rd at Glen Helen, it's Hughes, Snow, and then Unisart. But now we wait for the first bike, Coringa, to come up onto Glencrutchew Road. The wind blowing the wrong way to hear it coming, but we'll hear it go away from the grandstand on the pattern. Francesco Coringa about to complete his opening lap of the TT Mountain course. Crosses the line now, and it is 114.695 miles per hour. That's 19 minutes 44.255 seconds. James Hind will have come out of the dip there at Governor's and will be getting up to speed to come past us here on Glencrutchy Road at the grandstand. We can hear the two-stroke now. And Hind leads. It's come down though since Crockmona. It's 3.5 seconds there. Goes Butler. It was 114 for 695 for Coringa. It's 115.040 for James Hind on the Yamaha, and Dave Butler is third, 11.7 seconds down on Coringa, 113.568. So lost quite a little margin there, Chris Boyd, on the run from Crockmona to pass us here at the grandstand.
He has, yes, indeed, a little bit of time against Coringa, but the wind impact looked to have been bigger on the run from Bungalow to Crockmona than it was from Ramsey to Bungalow. The sector time was 4 seconds slower than yesterday on the run from Bungalow to Crockmona, so that's where the wind impact seems to be the worst.
Certainly does. Mark Rees, it will be interview number 8 here as the top 3 seem to have streaked away from the rest of the field, somewhat as they did yesterday. 116.453 miles per hour is the new lap record. There's number 8, Michael Rees, across the line. 110.424, but he's 34 seconds down on Butler. Garth Woods has retired at Grieber Castle, number 44. Number 35, Richard Saville, is a retirement at the Black Dub. And number 79, Richard Vuillemay, is a retirement just down the road at Quarterbridge, unfortunately for him. The leaders have reached Ramsey Hairpin in the ultra lightweight. We're waiting though for Lancelot Unisart to appear there. As number 10 goes across the line, Brad Vickers, he for the moment slots into 5th, 20.2 seconds down on 4th place, number 8, Michael Rees, but it's Hind who leads again, 3.552 seconds ahead, number 6 of number 3, Francesco Coringa on the pattern, and he in turn is 11.7 seconds ahead of in 3rd, number 5, Dave Butler. Should get Mahola and Quine into view shortly here on Glencrutchy Road. Unisart is 3rd at Ramsey Hairpin. We'll go up to Roy Moore very shortly. There is number 16 across the line. That is Andrea Mahola. He goes into 4th position. 33 seconds down on 3rd place Butler, but 1 second ahead of Michael Rees. And the other bite through is 7th now for number 12, David Quine. Let's catch up with the leaders then in the ultra lightweight at Ramsey Hairpin. Roy Moore.
Number 77, Rad Hughes, the leader here at Ramsey Hairpin. From number 61, Tom Snow, the gap 3.5 seconds. In 3rd place, number 70, Lancelot Unisart, only 2 seconds down on Snow. In 4th place, number 64, Alex Sinclair, 8.5 seconds down on Unisart. And then in fourth place was Alex Sinclair, 8 seconds down. In 5th, number 74, Lloyd Collins, only 1.5 seconds down on Sinclair. 6th for 73, Arnie Shelton, 8 seconds down on Lloyd Collins. 7th for number 82, Sarah Boys, just 0.4 of a second down on Shelton. It's then in 8th place, Andy Jackson. He's 8 seconds down on Boys. Within 9th, Leon Murphy, 2.2 of a second only down on Jackson. 10th for 69, Sebastian Witt, only half a second down on Murphy. 11th, Jason Lamb, 5 seconds down on Witt. And 12th, number 84, Steve Price, 0.6 only, half a second down on Lamb. Back to the grandstand.
Yeah, quickest in the ultra lightweight to Sulby, Steve Price at 137.2. It was Shelley Pike at 135.8. And Renzo van der Donk, I can tell you, is in 7th place in the lightweight. Lancelot Unisart, 135.6, same as Alex Sinclair. Sarah Boys, 134.8. So we got as far as Michael Rees in 5th. Brad Vickers, number 10, is currently showing in 6th position. But let's go to Glen Helen. Dave Christian.
Yes, welcome back, Tim. Francesco Coringa safely through here on his 2nd lap. Pattern going well, sounds well, it looks like it's handling well and all. He had no problems there at all. Fast on the approach, carried his corner speed well, and he's got the power on nice and early for the drive up towards Sarah's Cottage and along Cronkavody, awaiting the arrival now of James Hind. Here is the 2-stroke. James wrestled that into the corner again. He carries his corner speed really well, and the gap's down. It's 2 seconds. The gap now only 2 seconds, so James Hind leads Francesco Coringa by 2 seconds. Dave Butler comes through. His gap's extended, though. He was 12 seconds, we call that, down at the grandstand. Number 5, Dave Butler, still holding 3rd, but now 18 seconds. So it's Hind and Coringa setting the pace up at the front. They're starting to pull away from the rest of the field, and you feel that gap there. Francesco Coringa, 3.5 seconds at the grandstand, now down to 2.1. But of course, James Hind, he wasn't on the pace for this opening sector on lap 1. Maybe it's just Coringa's got a little bit of a hot spot for grandstand to Glen Helen, and we might see James Hind just extend away on the run down to Belaf. There will be wind. That wind, as Chris Boyd pointed out on the stat analysis from the bungalow through to Cronknamona, that's where you'll feel the worst effects of the wind. There's a little bit of a shelter as you come up the mountain mile. Keep tight into the left-hand side. Snaefell acts as a big blocker. But when you pull out of the shelter of Snaefell at the bungalow, that's when you really feel it. You can actually feel the bike slowing down underneath you as you go into the teeth of a southwesterly. Number 8 now through. That's Michael Rees safely through here on his 2nd lap. And the top of Hellwood's Rise, you turn around at Brandywell and you feel the teeth of the wind again on the run to the 32nd. And at Windy Corner, it tries to push you off the road to the left-hand side. And that's just at commuter speed. On a race bike like these, the guys will really, really feel it up there. And it's no surprise that James Hind is leaking a little bit of time to Francesco Coringa with the strength of this wind up there on that exposed section from the bungalow through to Cronknamona. And maybe down in the trees, that 2-stroke, if it's singing, it'll just be able to give him enough time to hold off Coringa on the mountain section. It's number 10, blue bike of Brad Vickers. Again, safely through here, but nowhere near those guys at the top end. The gap, Michael Rees, is 40 seconds between 3rd and 4th. Andrea Mahola may just squeeze in here on number 16 when the pattern arrives. He might just squeeze in there, but him and Michael Rees were pretty close together at the bungalow, at the grandstand. Sorry, there was only a second between them. Next machine comes in, flick to the right, into the left-hander. That is the pattern of Mahola, and he does indeed go into 4th place. So your leaderboard at Glen Helen on lap 2. Number 6, James Hind leads. Number 3, Francesco Coringa by 2 seconds. 12 comes through now, David Quine. 3rd place is number 5, David Butler. He is 17 seconds down on Coringa. In 4th place, number 16, Andrea Mahola. He is 35 seconds back on Butler. In 5th place, number 8, Michael Rees. He is 5 seconds down on Mahola. In 6th place, number 10, Brad Vickers. He's 24 seconds down on Rees. And 7th, at the moment, we've got David Quine, but at the grandstand, Renzo van der Donk, Paul Wardell, Jack Fowler, Jamie Edwards, all ahead of Quine on corrected time. So we need to take those guys through before we can give you an updated leaderboard really beyond 6th place, which is Brad Vickers. And we quickly go back to Tim Glover at the grandstand.
Yes, light on for number 64. That is Alex Sinclair. Also now 77, our race leader potentially. Although Tom Snow at the bungalow is only 2.9 seconds down on Radley Hughes. Tom Snow, in fact, has taken the lead at Cronknamona by 0.830 of a second. Tom Snow, the new race leader in the ultra lightweights at Cronknamona. Ahead of number 77, Radley Hughes. Tom Snow is number 61. 64, Alex Sinclair is in 3rd. He's 12.5 seconds down on Hughes. And 6.3, no, he's not. He's Lancelot Unisart is into 3rd. Unisart into 3rd. So let's get the times up here. as they now come across the line. 64 across the line, that's Alex Sinclair at 103.410 miles per hour. So should be Radley Hughes that'll be through next for us. Crosses the line now. And Radley Hughes 104.599 miles per hour. Two more machines into view. There is Tom Snow at 104.656 miles per hour, and he is 0.6 ahead of Radley Hughes here at the grandstand. 0.6, but we've still got Lancelot Unisart to slot in. That's number 72 across the line. That's Leon Murphy. He's in 5th for the moment, but Unisart is the one we're looking for, number 70. Should be one of these two machines. It's the second of them. And Unisart is into 3rd, and he's 10.6 seconds down on 2nd place Hughes. But it is Tom Snow who has just over a half a second advantage over Radley Hughes at the end of the opening lap on the ultra lightweight. Let's go back to Dave Christian out at Glen Helen.
Yeah, I can tell you the leaders now, Tim, are through Balaf. Number 6, James Hind. Number 3, Francesco Coringa. The gap between the two was 2 seconds at Glen Helen. At Balaf, James Hind is making the most of the shelter. Number 6 at Balaf Bridge now leads number 3, Francesco Coringa, by 8 seconds. So James Hind obviously likes the section between Glen Helen and Balaf. 6 seconds quicker than Coringa once he's under the trees in a little bit of shelter. And James Hind showing that if he can just build up that lead on the sectors that are running good for him, he can maybe just hold off Coringa in the windy part where the pattern has the slight advantage. David Butler, number 5, he is in 3rd place at Balaf, 17 seconds down on Coringa. And we'll go to Roy Moore at Ramsey Hairpin.
Yeah, no engine braking on the two-stroke, and that will be critical on the section there, down through Signpost, down through Bedstead, the Nuke, and anchoring it up into Governor's Bridge. But it might be crucial on lap 3 of this race, but we can't speculate about fuel stops, because that happened yesterday, and I can't remember what happened, but certainly somebody will and tell us. But Francesco Coringa is Ramsey Hairpin. Listen to the pattern through for the second time. Lovely away, and a lovely sound there as they went down Bray Hill. Well, they said you'd never win a TT if you can't take Bray Hill absolutely flat out, but I can tell you the lead is up to 12 seconds here at Ramsey, because here is number 6. Listen to the trollop machine going away. Bit slow on the uptake there, just kind of getting it there, and that's where is the problem would be when it gets up onto the mountain, I would think, just getting it chimed in. And certainly he does do that section from Glen Helen, as Dave Butler is here with us now. That section from Glen Helen to Ramsey is much quicker by James Hind than it is by Coringa, but it'll be interesting to see what the difference will be from Ramsey Hairpin over the mountain with that wind about. But that would be our observation about it. And what a delight. I can remember the Snow family. That's going to be a right battle towards the end as well. But it's James Hind who leads here by 12 seconds from, in 2nd place, Francesco Coringa, who in turn is 18 seconds ahead. Off in 3rd place, number 5, Dave Butler. There'll be quite a wait before number 16, Andrea Mahola, gets here. He was 42 seconds down on Dave Butler, though, at Balaf Bridge. Michael Rees was holding on to 5th place there, certainly just 4 seconds in that, so that'll be an interesting combination to see. And certainly that will be recorded on the old computer technology, and we'll be able to give you all the details about it. Disappointment for Gary Vines. Well, certainly he campaigns those machines on the short circuits over there and knows everything about them, but such is the unpredictability of the two strokes that getting to Quarterbridge and Union Mills was not on the start sheet for Gary Vines. Disappointment. He would have been a contender as well. So disappointment for him as another machine comes into Ramsey. This is number 8. Michael Rees got a different line than on the approach, but certainly gets it round very nicely indeed. He's 51 seconds seconds down now on Dave Butler. So it was 42 seconds, but we've got to wait for the arrival of number 16, Andrea Mahola. So he was 42. So, yeah, there was a good battle going on, which we'll be able to tell you about there between Mahola and Reese. There was only 4 seconds in it at Balaf, but we have got a bit of time to wait before he gets here to Ramsey. Other things we were noticing about was the Snow family. Yeah, we just talking about that going through, and we well remember with the wind direction one time, we just saw Dave Roper during the Classic TT, and he came over, and certainly remember the Benelli hurtling round here. And Brad Vickers is here with us now, number 10. What's the difference between him and Michael Reese? It's 26 seconds, but that will change with the arrival of Mahola here at Ramsey. Renzo van der Donk too. There's 6 seconds, the gap between him and Brad Vickers. So Brad Vickers here, that will be able to be there. But Mahola is in the Ramsey area, I can tell you. He's 46 seconds down on Dave Butler in 4th place, but he's only 5 seconds ahead off in 5th place, number 8, Michael Reese. There's the pattern safely through. And again, sounding beautiful as it goes away from Ramsey Hairpin. 4th place for him, but he's only 5 seconds ahead off in 5th place, Michael Reese. That puts Brad Vickers down and probably will relegate him a further place when we get the other rider, Paul Wardell, through, will it? No, I think Brad will probably hold on to that 6th place. But number 12 is here now, going very slowly indeed. That's Dave Quine. Not quite right on the approach, but certainly holding on to 7th place here at Ramsey. 33 seconds, though, down on Brad Vickers, but 7th place for him. But that, with the arrival of Jack Fowler and Jamie Edwards, might take that position away from him as we just flick over to the bungalow to see what the situation is there. It's 11 seconds, so the pattern has got to the bungalow a little bit quicker, and we realised on that previous lap how it was quicker from Hilbury onwards. So he's pulled back 1 second on the mountain climb, has Francesco Coringa to James Hind as they climb the mountain, and Dave Butler is also through the bungalow, 26 seconds down on Coringa, so he's dropped a further. That probably proves how Coringa is going on the mountain climb, because it was 18 seconds here at Ramsey Hairpin. It's now 26 seconds at the bungalow. More machines come into Ramsey. We're expecting this to be that one we're looking for, number 19, is it? In fact, there's more machines. There's 1, 2, 3. And the first of these is number 18, then it's 24, and then 19. So where do they all slot in? Dave Christian at Glen Helen.
Yeah, thanks, Roy. We've got the first leaders on the road through in the ultra-lightweight class. And I can tell you, Glen Helen on lap 2. Leader is number 61, Tom Snow. He leads number 77, Radley Hughes, by 2.5 seconds. In 3rd place at the moment is number 70, Lance Unisart. And he is 8.5 seconds down on Radley Hughes. In 4th place, number 64, Alex Sinclair. He's 6 seconds back on Unisart. And making up the top 5, number 74, Lloyd Collins. He's 3 seconds down on Sinclair. Sarah Boys, who was up here in 3rd place, she's dropped to 7th. She has 11 seconds behind 6th place, Arnie Shelton, and has just fallen away after a fantastic start. So 6th is Arnie Shelton, 7th is Sarah Boys. And with that, we'll go back to the grandstand.
Yes, we're looking out for lights at Cronknamona, but it's all going to come down to the pits. Now, Hind lost a lot of time in the pits yesterday, 50.8 for his pit stop. Coringa was 36.4, Butler 38.9. But he's going quick, Chris Boyd, but probably not going to break the record with slowing down on the wind on the mountain, but inside the record at Ramsey.
Yeah, 1.2 seconds inside that 116.4 pace from yesterday.
And the light is on for number 3, Francesco Coringa at Cronknamona. And we now await number 6, James Hind, for his light to flick on across at the scoreboard. And there it is, and the lead's gone out. It's 13.5 seconds that Hind leads Coringa. And, of course, they now are going to come into Gasoline Alley, and those pit stops are going to be absolutely crucial. Can Hind get this bike turned around quicker than yesterday to hang on to the lead, or is Coringa going to make up the difference and actually leave pit lane in the lead? It's all up in the air. as we now wait for Francesco Coringa to come out onto Glencrutchery Road. He's going to have to scrub the speed off, though, coming into the top there of Gasoline Alley and make his way at less than 60k. Klaxon sounds, and we will just see what his time is as he comes in very sedately into the pits. And let's have a look at the speed, 115.212. And we'll just see, Chris, before we come to you, the second place, first place man come in Hind and give you the reading on him. And he is in the lead by 13.4. Down to you, Chris Kinley.
Just looking at the lap time for Coringa, Tim, I think that will be Francesco Coringa's fastest lap of the race. And it's a good pit stop again by Leonardo and the team. Hind 116.19, Coringa 115.21. The leaders who came into the pit stop was, let's give you that now, get that to you. Hind's working hard on that fuel. The boys just having a little, no taps in the tank. It's cold here today. The cap is just about to go back on. Cronknamona, it was 13.5. Here it was 13.48. So there you go, nice and steady. James is going to keep a little eye on that throttle. And here's our third place man, is Butler, 31.067 back at Cronknamona here at the grandstand. Dave Butler, number 5 in third place, 33.5 seconds back. And Butler on that lap, we'll give you that now if we can get that to you. Butler's lap was 113.12, 20 minutes flat, 0.763. So Cronknamona now, Michael Rees is there. We're going to keep an eye on this pit stop for him this time, hopefully. I just see Paul Owen there with his fingers crossed as Dave Butler, Sideshow Bob, he leaves and away he goes. Blasted out, a lot of dust coming up at the end of the return there, the pit lane there as he goes under the RST bridge. But here comes Dave Butler, but first to Tim O'Hanlon very quickly.
Coringa was 8.8 seconds quicker than Hines, so that's going to give Hines a 4.6 second lead after the pits.
Thank you, Tim. Good stuff. Brilliant. There you go. Butler. We should wait for Michael Rees next. Now, remember, he did have that problem with the fuel cap not coming off yesterday when it hydro-locked. So hopefully they won't have the same sort of problems. He lost a lot of time in there. Only 4 riders through Cronknamona at the moment. A reminder then, into the pit stop, number 6, James Hind led by 13.48, but a slower pit stop, and that will have come down by the time they get out to David Glen Helen. And then Dave Butler 33.5 seconds back into the grandstand and in and out on that pit stop. And it should be, well, number 10, Brad Vickers, is now also at Cronknamona, but it's 8 who's coming in now. It's Michael Rees, Andrea Maiola holding on to 4th place, the newcomer. He's had a bit of disappointment with that bike, electrical problems, but let's have a little look, see if they can get the cap off, and the cap's off straight away this time for the number 8 bike. So that is good news, because Michael thought they were ready to go yesterday, but no fuel had gone in. So that is excellent news. They got the cap off, they worked out the strategy, and he currently holds on to 4th place. He's 12 seconds back though off Maiola, who was 4th going through Cronknamona. So they just tell him to take it nice and steady. There goes the cap, clipped on. Yeah, the clip goes in. Give a little push, fires up, tap on the back from Paul Owen, and he is away. So that's a far better pit stop this time for the number 8 machine. That is Michael Rees, and he is away. This should be number 10 coming in next. That's Brad Vickers on the VRS racing machine. Great performance by Brad yesterday in the junior race, and of course this lightweight first running of that, the number 10 bike. Brad from Tad comes into his position, gets the little roll in on the VRS Super Twin, and the klaxon goes once more. This should be our newcomer, number 12, Dave Quiners, also at Cronknamona, and it is number 22. We'll get this guy in and into this pit stop. You can hear the pattern bouncing in and rattling in, and there he goes for a pit stop and stops now. So there we go, he's jumped in the 4th place, but he is 48.223 back off Dave Butler. And there's Brad Vickers leaving, a little shove from Robbie, and he is away. Robbie Sylvester give him a good push there, and Brad into the middle of pit lane, and you can hear that pit limiter makes the bike sound a little bit rough, but then he'll just clear it off there now, and away he goes. A lot of dust kicked up from Brad. You can probably hear a bit of wind on our microphone as well, but 16 Maiola is also about to leave us. Hopefully the pattern's going to fire up. It does. He's in that 4th position. Looking at the pit stops then, Hind did a 42.9. Coringa did a 34, Butler did a 35, Vickers did a 38, Rees did a 36, that's better, and Maiola a 41. Any other changes, Tim O'Hanlon?
No, everything's as was.
As was, good man, Tim.
That's the 3rd lap at over 116 miles per hour then for our race leader, James Hind, 116.190 on the Yamaha there at 19 minutes 29 seconds. Let's go, and he's got a 13.4, but that's been reduced, but a better stop, it has to be said, from Hind on this occasion. Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin for the ultra lightweights, Roy Moore.
61 Tom Snow by 7.5 seconds from 77 Rad Hughes, who in turn is 6 seconds only ahead of in third place number 70 Lancelot Unisart, who is 10 seconds only ahead of in fourth place 64 Alex Sinclair. It's fifth for Lloyd Collins and sixth for Arnie Shelton. David Glenhelen.
Yes, thanks, Roy. I can hear engine noise, I think, outside. Won't be too long before the pattern of Francesco Coringa sweeps out of Glenhelen 2. And a machine does come, high speed, flick to the right, down the box, tips it in. That's Coringa, straight onto the power as well. And he'll make his climb up towards that long straight at Croncavoddy. And now the seconds tick away. We await the arrival of number 6, James Hind. He mastered the wind on the mountain that last lap. There was no recovery of time for Coringa up there, with James Hind extending that lead to 13.4 seconds at the grandstand. He really is on form this week. Here's the Flyers two-stroke. Straight onto the power as well, and that gap is down. That gap is well down now. Tim O'Hanlon thought a few seconds there at the grandstand, 4.5 going out. I can tell you now that number 6, James Hind, does lead number 3, Francesco Coringo, but it's 0.2 of a second. That is all there is between them. That's probably, I think, as Chris Palmer said, a fag paper in old money. Absolutely nothing between them. 0.2 of a second, but James Hind, remember, is coming into his little stretch where he has been consistently outperforming Coringa in the 2 lightweight races so far. And Dave Butler now comes through, 45 seconds back for David Butler, 45 seconds back on number 3, Coringa. And those two at the front of the race really are pulling away now. At the grandstand, Dave Butler on entry to pit lane was 33 seconds behind Coringa. He's now 45.8. So an incredible amount of time pulled away by James Hind and Francesco Coringa between the grandstand and Glenhelen here. But that race impossibly close. 0.2 of a second is all that separates them on lap 3. So Hind will now need to get his head down and just keep pushing and pushing just to hold off the charging Coringa, who will have pulled back some time in pit lane. But remember, he's in this race so far, he's always been quicker than Hind on the opening sector as well. So you take that 4 seconds or so in the pit lane, plus another few seconds here at on the 9 and a bit miles between the grandstand and here at Glenhelen, and you are within 0.2 of a second. The actual measurement, 0.199, which is 0.2 when I round it up, and that's absolutely nothing at all. A missed gear will have that, and James Hind really does need to keep pushing, because Coringa right behind him. Elsewhere on the leaderboard, guys worth a mention, Renzo van der Donk, number 24. He started in 21st position, I think, and Renzo van der Donk up to 7th at the grandstand at the entry to pit lane at the end of lap 2. Paul Wardell, number 23, in 8th place. He started outside the top 20 as well. Next man is arriving now at his number 8, Michael Rees. Just a little bit wide on the exit there, but managed to keep it well away from the Recticel fencing there that's just on the edge of that camber at the exit of this long left-hander, but very wide line there. Really did help him keep his corner speed, though. That'll benefit him when he gets up to the top of the hill here and gets that kick on down towards Croncavoddy. We were following Veronika Hankachova. She had a good start up to 11th place on lap 1. That's number 32. The entry into pit lane, she's fallen away a little bit. 17th place in the grandstand for Veronika Hankachova. Also running well, number 27, Jack Fowler. Jack Fowler started in 24th. He was up to 10th, so a 14th-place gain for Jack Fowler at the end of lap 2. Brad Vickers comes through. Vickers with a slightly more conventional line, but does carry his corner speed reasonably well. He is 5th place at the moment, pending the arrival of Andrea Megola, and there is Megola now. And And he does take fourth place for Andrea Mayola. He is 54 seconds down on third place, Dave Butler, with Michael Rees, number 8, in fifth place. He is 20 seconds further down on Mayola. And Brad Vickers, number 10 in sixth place, 28 seconds back on fifth place, Michael Rees. I'm not certain if we'll get time to see Renzo van der Donk through here. That's the man who was holding seventh place, or Paul Wardell, or in fact Jack Fowler. But David Quine should be the next man on the road, number 12 on the entry into pit lane. He was up to 11th position. It's an 11th position for David Quine. But those other guys with the higher start numbers are coming through ahead of him. In fact, Gavin Brown on machine number 33 was only half a second down on Quine. Hind and Karinga and Butler are now all through Balaf, and I can tell you James Hind has done what he's always done after losing time on the opening sector. He's pulled a whole load back between Glen Helen and Balaf, and at Balaf Bridge on lap 3, number 6 James Hind leads number 3 Francesco Karinga by 6 seconds. He has pulled 6 seconds out on Karinga between the Glen Helen and Balaf. An amazing performance from James Hind. Consistency is the watchword for him. He's so smooth around here as well. He's got this line perfect. He's got his corner speed perfect. He is just running an absolutely fantastic race. In third place at Balaf, David Butler through 47 seconds back. That's 18 Mark Colvin through here now. And I think with that, we will hand back to the grandstand.
Lights on for 61, 77 and 64 out at Cronknamona. Tom Snow 13 seconds ahead of Bradley Hughes. And just quickly on the lightweight, Chris Boyd, James Hind, he does like that sector, Glen Helen to Balaf.
Always impressive up there, and he's pushed that lead out by 6 seconds in that one sector, Glen Helen to Balaf. Impressive stuff from Hind, out from 0.2 to 6.2. So
13.1, and of course Tom Snow, I think he just did a little dab of the foot down in trials terms, as Chris Kinley was saying, so he's likely to make up a lot of time and extend his advantage, and they should be coming into view now. So we'll get the times up on the screen, but let's head down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, we look up there as this wind continues to gust. It's whistling up pit lane here now. We have the first man in, that's Alex Sinclair. Third place yesterday. He's the first man over the line, holding on to provisional 4 through Cronknamona, 7.5 seconds back off Lancelot Unisot. And here's Snowy. Tom Snow is in, number 61, and he leads by 31 and a bit. Just a foot down to go, but he's going to have to be careful. Oh, number 77 tells him to go the outside of him. All these guys know each other really well. That's Radley Hughes in, and they are going to have to get some fuel in Alex Sinclair's bike. And here's 51 in for his pit stop from the lightweight class. But there's Alex Sinclair away. So he's had to have a bit of a stop, so he'll drop back maybe a little bit further. And we got 77 in, 77 Rad Hughes in the pits there down the bottom. And we got another rider just at the top here now. I'm not sure who that is, just can't see the number at the moment, just obscured. We'll get it because it should only be a quick splash and dash. But when they went through Cronknamona, there is Rad Hughes away. Tom Snow led by 13.1 seconds. And there's Lance Unisot in, confirmed in third position, the winner. Just a little dab on the foot there now, so this could, well, move him and Radley Hughes a little bit apart. That's what we've got to look out for. 74, Lloyd Collins is in the pits at the moment. So into the pit stop for the B class, or the ultra lightweight, is Tom Snow, that leads by 12.475.
Chris, we've got a 30-second penalty for Lancelot Unisot. 30-second penalty again.
Well, that's going to knock him right back. It's going to knock him back past outside fifth position. Looking at the times, though, 7 and 10 is 17 is 33. It's going to knock him to around about 6th or 7th position. Very quick, Tim O'Hanlon.
Well, Snow only had a dab with his foot, so he was 19 seconds quicker than Hughes, so that's given him a 32-second lead over Rad Hughes. Roy, Bungalow.
Well, Ramsey Hairpin, not Bungalow. I have been up the Bungalow, but Ramsey Hairpin we're at, and we can tell you that James Hind has increased his lead, number 6, from the run for Balaf Bridge here to Ramsey. It's out to 10 seconds now from number 3, Francesco Karinga. 10 seconds is the difference that the leader, James Hind, has here at Ramsey. Yesterday they were virtually together as number 5, Dave Butler, is here now, 51 seconds down on Karinga. Certainly that's 4 seconds that Karinga has picked out off him from the 4 seconds. But certainly James Hind leading here at Ramsey by 10 seconds now. 6 seconds there at Balaf. 10 seconds at Ramsey. They'll be well up through now. We had to get that pit stop action there on the others because we weren't sure. I'm certain that we weren't sure about what people were going to do. And we heard about Tom Snow just putting his foot down and away. Quick dab. Good commentary there about trials, the old trials. 3 moving forward, a quick dab or a 5, but certainly out and onto the course and increasing his lead. So through Ramsey, it's Dave Butler, 51 seconds down on James Hind. We can tell you that through Balaf Bridge, in 4th place was number 16, Andrea Mehola. He was 58 seconds down, though, on Dave Butler. 5th for number 8, Michael Rees, 21 seconds down on Mehola. And then in 6th place, number 10, Brad Vickers, 28 seconds down on Michael Rees. Within 7th place, number 23, Paul Wardle. He was 6 seconds down on Brad Vickers. And then 8th, Renzo van der Donk. He was 22 seconds down on Paul Wardle, but he had to look out for number 18, Mark Colvin, because he was only 4 seconds behind him at Balaf on this, the 3rd and final lap. 10th place through Balaf for number 20, Stephen Horn. Apologies if that has been read out before, but I think that brings that class up to date. And I'm sure when we look at these scoreboards, we'll be looking for the bungalow to see who's made that mountain climb to the bungalow and probably dropping back to Dave there at Glen Helen to get the indication of what the situation is in the ultra lightweight. So could it be the double? Could it be the double? The first double for quite a while, I would think, of Michael Evans probably. And I can tell you at the bungalow, they haven't made the bungalow as yet. The beam hasn't been broken up there. Certainly you would expect the pattern to put a little bit of a gap on that climb up to the mountain, but certainly Coringa might be fully aware of what the situation is. As I say, yesterday they were virtually together, and it was only a case of James Hind just checking everything and making sure that he kept him in sight. But he probably will just about see him on the mountain mile, I would think. But I can tell you, up through the mountain mile and through the mountain box and down through the Black Hut and sweeping round the veranda has gone Francisco Coringa and has made the mountain climb and is at the bungalow. So what will the difference be at them? We're just checking everything as Brad Vickers comes through. I can tell you that James Hind has maintained that lead on the mountain climb, a fraction of a second pull back, but certainly it's still 10 seconds. And through there goes in 4th place, Ramsey Happen. We just got that. James Hind leads at the bungalow by 10.9 seconds. 10.9 seconds is the lead for James Hind. So downhill from there, well, certainly not downhill from the bungalow, up towards the Brandywell to the highest point of the circuit, and then sweeping round the Brandywell and down through Dukes, the 32nd. Just looking out there for the other class who's gone through Ramsey, and it's 4th place and I think we got that one in 8th. Brad Vickers, number 10. That was the one we were looking for. Where does he slot in as being gone through Ramsey? Number 10, Brad Vickers, slots into 6th place here at Ramsey. 24 seconds down, though, on Michael Rees. So that is the situation here, I think, up to date now. Another machine coming towards us here now, and that is the kind of difference in the classes, really. We've got them heading towards the finish and still here at Ramsey, and yet another race out heading towards Glen Helen. So such is the spread of riders on the course. Well, certainly it's good for entertainment and good for viewing. We noticed the Mayor of Ramsey going through, 63. We can tell you Dave Butler has made the mountain climb, 59 seconds he's down now on Coringa. But obviously you would have thought something about that if you hadn't seen James Hind's time going through there, because he's just maintained station, as Peter Neal used to say, on Coringa, and James Hind has made the mountain climb, still holding on to that 10-second advantage. Mark Colvin should be the one next here at Ramsey, number 18. We can hear a machine coming up through White Gates, through Stella Maris, and down through the box into Ramsey Hairpin, and it's 7th place. Well, it was 7th place. It's gone to 8th now, because Paul Wardle is also here at Ramsey. Paul Wardle is 9.5 seconds down on Brad Vickers, but he holds a 20-second advantage over in 8th place, number 23. Back to the grandstand.
Yeah, very quickly go to Glen Helen and Dave Christian, an ultra lightweight update.
Yeah, they're through here on their final pass now. Leading number 61, Tom Snow. In second place, number 77, Radley Hughes, 34 seconds back on Snow. In third place, number 70, Lance Unisart. He is 12 seconds back on Radley Hughes. Fourth, number 64, Alex Sinclair, who's closed right in on Unisart after that pit lane penalty. 2 seconds, just 2 seconds behind Lance Unisart, and making up your top 5, number 74, Lloyd Collins. He's a further 30 seconds back. Back to you at the grandstand.
Well, our race leader has made it now to Cronknamona on the last lap, and James Hind is 12.9 seconds ahead of number 3, Francesco Coringa. So is he about to do the lightweight double? It looks very much on the cards with that advantage, 12.9. And he should be coming, we should get Coringa coming through first of all in front of a packed grandstand here. The checkered flag is readied. Here's Coringa on the path. And now let's wait for 112.008 for Coringa, including the pit stop. But let's wait to greet this rising young star, James Hind, for a second win of the week. He's done the lightweight double. There's Hind, and he wins by 11.752 seconds. And a last lap for Hind of 111.848 miles per hour. And third at Cronknamona, our man is there, Dave Butler.